ANC is going to achieve an outright majority, so be relaxed. We are not working to be in coalition, but if we have to choose a coalition partner, we will choose the ANC to be our coalition partner. We are confident that we are going to emerge victorious. People of our country, the majority of the people who have always voted for the ANC and who've supported the ANC, still see the ANC as the only vehicle that, having commenced and started the transformation process in our country, can continue with it and consolidate it and make it better.
Hello there, guys, and welcome to Daily Updates. So I've got a scenario regarding the 2024 elections, but before that, there are rumors that the government might be planning to increase our VAT by 1% or 2% because they are struggling with the 350 grants that they are giving to people who are not employed. So remember, for that 350 to be paid per person, there's probably a lot of money that goes into that process of finally paying the money into the bank. So you might find that the operation requires extra fees for that money to go into the account of that person who's unemployed. So remember, the ANC next year needs votes. And when you keep 350, a lot of people are going to say that, we're getting paid 350, so we must stick with a party that we understand that it's fighting and it's caring about our needs. So it's a big advantage to them. Hence, they have to go on and fight until next year. So here's my scenario. All the political parties contesting the 2024 elections are looking to get the ANC below 50%. It's looking likely that it's going to happen because when you look at the performance of the government of recent times, many people have a reason to switch from the current party towards other oppositions. You have the Moonshot Pact, you have the EFF, you have other parties, don't forget the UDM. Probably EFF is working with other parties to say that we must look at collaborating. The Moonshot Pact on the other side, they have written rules. One of them, they are saying that none of the members should be looking to go into coalition with the ANC next year. So let's say it happens that ANC, which we are looking at 45%, 42%, if ANC gets those numbers, 42 or 45, and you have a party like a DA, which could go and say that ANC, let's work together, and then no one can contest it, it might be good. But because the DA is part of the Moonshot Pact, it is going to be difficult. Hence, Action SA just said that, well, for us to be sure that this thing is going to work, the Moonshot Pact, we should all gather and come together and say that if next year comes, no one is going to work with the ANC. So you have the Moonshot Pact on the side. We are looking that they can't really work with the ANC because of what they have agreed on with other political parties, unless they do a U-turn, because they are famous for that. If they do a U-turn, well, of course, they will be abandoning the other parties and betraying them. But let's say they stick to their rules and never do a U-turn. You have the ANC and the EFF likely looking to work together. Just because you see these guys, you see them throwing insults at each other and saying that we cannot work with each other, and then the fact that this other one is like this, they are corrupt, these other ones are like this, we can't work together. It doesn't mean next year they are not going to work together. Actually, it looks more likely that this 2024 elections, when the ANC goes below 50%, the only candidate that will save the ANC will be the EFF. Say the ANC got 45% or 42%. The EFF improves and get probably 17%, 17, 18, 19, somewhere there. As the ANC, you look at the EFF and say, well, look, EFF, our policies, it's just that we have some confusions there and there, but our policies represent the same people. How about we work together, measure these points, this percentage, do a coalition, and then leave the rest of the people outside? Which probably the EFF would then say, well, we are looking for that. How about we get people like ATM, which is a good collaborator of the EFF, and maybe UDM on the side. But the biggest one would be that ANC EFF, the majorities. And then once they get to work together and combine those percentage, the Moonshot Pact can't do anything about it. No one can do anything about it because it will be way above 50%, probably 60%. Then what happened next is that they have to sit down and then say, ANC is the majority. They came with a large portion of the percentage. Then they're going to get the presidency. Then the EFF gets the deputy. So you either get Julius Malema or Floyd Shivambu to be the deputy of Ramaphosa. And then Ramaphosa becomes that deputy. Well, we know the money in the mattress and whatnot, but when that time comes, there won't be energy to be fighting for the money in the mattress. The main thing would be for them to say, let's sit down and work together for the people of South Africa. Because that is the only option. And then once you get Ramaphosa and one of the EFF, Malema, who's the leader of the EFF, he should be the deputy. You get Malema as the deputy president of the country. And then you share those ministers. You can have like the ANC having 60% and the EFF having 40%. You bring it down to a point where if someone is not performing, it can be a difficult task of saying that, let us take him out. It will be an easy task because both parties have to sit down and talk about it and say that this kind of minister is not performing. It might be a risk to the people of South Africa, but that's the only chance that they can put them. Because nobody believes that, or nobody trusts the ANC working with the DA. Say that the ANC works with the DA. People might have their doubts about it, saying that no, it can't happen. And especially for the fact that the DA is part of the Moonshot Pact, it's a very, very difficult decision to be making. But the one of the EFF and the ANC, we are looking at a very likely combination here. And if there are no tantrums being thrown around, if there are no egos, this might actually be working good. Having the ANC been reduced from being that bigger person to being someone who has to consult with the EFF before they make decisions. Then at the end of the day, the people of South Africa looks at an improved level of being corrupt, from being corrupt to being afraid of committing corruption because now there is someone you must account to. Because we know that, well, the EFF as a young party, I don't think in their own mind, if they get that opportunity, they would let the ANC do what they want to do. Like, let's say the issue of corruption, they would let it be like that when they know that there is a lot at stake. If we really work together on these 5 years, the people of South Africa might trust that and say that from now on, we are giving EFF the full chance to lead this country. Because next year, it's very difficult to say that one party is going to lead. It is not going to happen that the ANC or let's say the DA, the Moonshot Pact, is going to get over 50%. That is not going to happen. Next year, there won't be anyone who is above 50%. And once that comes, the coalition talk starts to gather around. And who do you have if not the EFF and ANC? Unless their negotiation hit a brick wall. That then we can say, well, they failed because they couldn't agree. But when you look at the ANC, it is not the decision of Ramaphosa alone, because some people say that Ramaphosa is a Stellenbosch guy. It is not his decision alone. So if we get to the point where they have to decide on the DA or the EFF, it is easy to make and say that the EFF instead of the DA, because nobody trusts the DA. No one. That is why they are forming the Moonshot Pact, because they know themselves that without gathering people like the IFP, we are not going to have any much confidence from especially the black majority. As you can see, most of the black leaders are leaving the DA. So why would the majority of our people then go and say, let's vote for them anyway? Hence the strategy of Moonshot Pact. But we know the Apollo 11 is not going to reach the moon. It is going to go down before it gets there. And then the only possible combination that is not going to let it get there is the ANC and the EFF. Maybe, if that happens, some changes can be done. Otherwise, we are going to vote and we're still going to wonder, how did this guy win? Check Zimbabwe. You might know. Anyway, guys, thank you for tuning into the channel. And please, if you can become a membership for only 5 rands. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. Cheers.